What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another MMA YouTube video. Today, we're going to be doing picks for UFC Mexico this weekend, Moreno versus Erceg. It's a good card, entertainment-wise, not great name value-wise, but it is what it is because they got a lot of up-and-coming Mexican talent on this card and stuff, and some random-ass fights that I think were short notice because there's no other explanation for them being on this card. So, yeah. Will, do you have any intros?
Uh, yeah, I'm pretty excited for this card. Like you said, a lot of really good fights on paper here. Some of my favorites fighting on here, like Drew Dober. Can't wait to see him fight so high up on a card. Never happens for such an entertaining fighter like him. So it's great to see him in a co-main slot. Um, a lot of pretty weird matchups here. But it should be fun. So let's get into these picks we got.
All right, first fight, Markel Maderos versus Austin Hubbard. As you can see in the bottom right of the screen, some of the fighters on this card I will have in my spreadsheet of all the ratings and rankings for all these fighters. That spreadsheet is linked below as always. Um, yeah, so Austin Hubbard, I do not have him ranked or rated because I think once he loses this fight, he's probably going to be out of the UFC. Um, he's 16-8. He's not a great fighter. The odds are even a little slimmer than I thought they would be. I thought Medeiros would be a bit bigger of a favorite, but I get it. Hubbard is like a tough hang in there type of guy, and Medeiros is a very low ceiling prospect. He's good, he's solid, but I can't really see him at 77 overall, ranked number 35 at lightweight. He's solid. So I'm going with Medeiros, probably getting himself a TKO here. Actually, I do think he's going to get a finish. I don't think the cardio will be a factor. They both train at elevation, so yeah.
That's a good thing to mention actually going forward with all these cards. I saw a video, I don't have the stats on that pulled up, but there are some huge disparities in elevation between a lot of these fighters, and I really wonder how that will affect, performances on fight day. I'm sure a lot of people have learned their lesson, but there's always one that comes in there and just gasses in the first round and looks stupid for it. So we'll see that. But on this matchup, I really don't have much to say. It's Austin Hubbard. I think he's probably going to lose, get cut, like you said. Um, and yeah, not much else. It's an Austin Hubbard fight.
Yeah. Um, all right, next fight, Jamal Emmers versus Gabriel Miranda. Once again, Gabriel Miranda, another fighter who I don't have on the rankings because I believe he's going to lose this fight and get cut. Um, so yeah, exactly what I just said. Once again, these odds are slim for I feel like Jamal Emmers is so much better than Gabriel Miranda. I think Jamal Emmers definitely has holes in his game and problems. I have no clue how he lost to Nate Landwehr. He was whooping Nate Landwehr, then he kind of just the fight got taken over. I
That
guess
fight
that's
was
just the Nate
beautiful,
train
man.
effect.
I love that one.
I, I really like Jamal Emmers though. As you can see, I'm at 79 overall, which is really good for the 51st ranked featherweight.
Yep.
Because his wins aren't crazy high quality, but his losses are. Specifically, the Jack Jenkins one. I think Jamal Emmers is great. I think he's going to whoop Gabriel Miranda, probably smoke him in the first. So, yeah.
Gabriel Miranda, owner of a boss ass mustache. That thing is sick. That being said, Jamal Emmers is genuinely really good. A bit of a weird chin on him, but I don't think that should play too much of a factor here. And I think, yeah, like you said, probably gonna KO Miranda early because he is simply better than him, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, Miranda's not the worst. He's just not very good. He's pretty one note. So, yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. This is one of those just what the fuck are we doing, right? I mean, honestly, kind of the first three fights of this card is like these old dudes who suck against guys who are okay. And I think Rafa Garcia is kind of in the same boat as Jamal Emmers and Marco Medeiros. He's pretty good, has a pretty low ceiling. He's definitely going to beat Vince from Hell Pichel, right? I think Pichel's actually the oldest fighter on the roster now. Uh,
Really?
yeah, I don't know why he's even in the UFC. The guy is one of the most inactive for how old he is. He's so inactive, dude. He's 14-4 at like 42. It's
Yep.
crazy.
42.
I think Garcia is going to beat the shit out of him. Probably a dominant decision, or even like a doctor stoppage or ground and pound TKO. Just one of those dominant. Beat him up on the ground, beat him up on the feet, destroy him. Yeah,
Yeah. It's hard to pick Vince Pichel in 2025. Hoffa Garcia is definitely not the best. I mean, not the most quality wins recently. But he's fighting Vince Pichel. You know, I never would really bet on Garcia against any like decent lightweight, but again, this is Vince Pichel, and it's just not his time anymore. Super inactive. Has lost his last two. Hasn't had a win since 2021. And yeah, I think Garcia is probably. I'm picking sub for Garcia. Probably just round one RNC, something kind of basic like that, where he just beats up an old man, takes him down, subs him.
Fair enough. God, this pick video up until these first few fights are just
Yeah.
so boring. Nothing to say here really. Julia Pilastri versus Lupi Godinez. We haven't been saying the names of the fighters fully. Maybe we have. I don't fucking know. I'm picking Lupi. She's actually good. That's it. I don't know.
uh, yeah, I mean, Loopy trains at elevation too, I believe, which, helps. Or maybe I have
Yeah.
that mixed up.
Guadalajara elevation. I don't know.
I don't know.
Look at him
This
now.
fight, I think I saw is the biggest like elevation disparity between two fighters. I forgot which one's which though, so that's not really helpful. But
It's definitely
yeah,
Lupi. Yeah.
okay, yeah. So I think that'll help her out, but I don't think she even needs it because she is just a better fighter. Yeah. So hold on.
Hey, this is a great fight. Finally, we have a really good fight that's actually hard to predict.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm really excited for this one. I do think C Rod is Christian Rodriguez versus Malkaziel Costa. I would like to say I do think C Rod is better, pretty clearly. I have them two ratings apart, 77 overall to a 79 overall. I think C Rod is actually really good, but matchup wise, do I think he's gonna ragdoll Melky, take him down, fucking beat him up like Steve Garcia did or like Thiago Moises did, which was embarrassing? No. Do I think he's winning on the feet? No. Melky's fast, dude. Like weirdly fast. He doesn't really hit that hard. He doesn't have much pop, but he's technically sound and fast. I think you either have to hit hard or be like a dominant grappler to beat this guy, uh, or just be like leagues better than him. Well, I do think Rodriguez is better by a good bit. I don't think he's the leagues better. So I'm actually gonna pick the underdog here, Melky Costa. I think he'll beat Rodriguez probably over the distance. Maybe get himself a TKO. I doubt it. Maybe get himself a sub. But once again, I doubt it. So, yeah, close fight, really hard to predict. I'm gonna go Melky, but it's hard not to go with C-Rod.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick the opposite here. I'm going C Rod. I wasn't. I mean, Feely fight 1 round. He finished him. Did what he did everything right there. But I didn't see too much that really impressed me. He's put on better performances in the past, but he still finished Philly in the first round. But that's more a Philly issue than a Melky issue. Um, so I don't know. I'm gonna pick C Rod. I think his wrestling probably is good enough, and even then, I think he can probably get the nod, technically outstriking him. Uh, Costa isn't a prospect, so C Rod's not gonna have any kind of like special powers against him, but I still think he's like solid enough to beat him. So I'm probably just gonna pick C Rod by decision.
I really actually want to. I just thought about it.
Yeah.
C-Rod's probably gonna. It's elevation. Melky doesn't train at elevation. C-Rod's definitely gonna take over as the fight goes. Fuck it. I'm switching my. That's whatever. I'm switching my pick. I don't care. I'm switching to C-Rod. Yeah.
All right.
Melky doesn't train at elevation. C-Rod, his whole thing is like outlasting and beating you as the fight goes on, and Melky is almost definitely gonna gas with the way he throws his strikes. Like I said, he throws them very hard, very fast. I do think he'll win round one, but I think, yeah, it's at elevation. I think C-Rod will win round 2 and 3. And I think it'll be really close. I'm not going to totally abandon my Melky pick. I do think it'll go the way I'm thinking it will go for Melky, 4-1 round. That's what I'll say. Really hard fight to predict. That was lame. Now we're all picking the same fight. Okay, another one. Just fucking horrible to predict. Let's just get through this one real quick. Atepe Gautier is okay. He's fast. He hits hard. He has no grappling. He's okay. Jose Medina is fucking horrible. I have no clue how this dude is in. Well, I do know why he's in the UFC
People are
because
calling
weird.
Gautier middleweight Ngannou. It's just like pump the
Because he's
brakes, dude.
Cameroonian and
Yeah, I
Picard.
mean that's
Yeah,
probably the only reason. But dude,
he's
pump the
good,
brakes. He
but
is
he's
not like
okay. He's super undeveloped, incomplete as a fighter. Dude,
yeah.
Medina sucks so bad. He shouldn't be in the UFC. I get it. He had like a cool story and everything, but he got dominated on the Contender Series. Got dominated by Zachary Reese. Destroyed over 3 rounds by Zachary Reese.
That being
He hasn't
said,
been changed. It's hard to
Chico
hear
and
you.
one. Chico and one. Medina will sub him.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm going with Gautier. Maybe getting a TKO, maybe not. Who cares? He's gonna win, probably dominantly. Medina's really bad and shouldn't be in the
Probably.
UFC. Hopefully he gets cut after this fight because get back to the drawing board, even though he's 33, so what am I saying?
Yeah,
But
no, probably just stop your career. But I'm just gonna. I feel like Gautier is not that good. If it was anyone but Medina, I probably wouldn't be picking him. Uh,
yeah.
it just shows how bad Medina is that this guy's a 550 favorite. Um, it's kind of insane. I don't know. This is one of those fights where I feel like some stupid shit's gonna happen and there's just gonna be a fluke finish. Like Medina's gonna, get a disgusting, like fluke hit.
Filthy knockout. I
Yeah,
swear we just
filthy
saw this.
knockout. No, but
Tuna
he's just
versus Uros Medic, dude. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
just get like something that shouldn't like on a cosmic level should not happen. Like just a stupid guillotine or somehow TKOs him. I feel like this is one of those fights where that happens.
Mhm. Honestly, I don't know what fights I'm thinking of other than Puna Hele Soriano versus Osmedic, but I feel like we've seen that so much this year where good fighters who are so much clearly better just lose in a way they totally shouldn't. It's really
Yep.
hard to watch. So you're right. Medina will probably win because it's also in Mexico City, which is near, I think, Venezuela's where he's from. But yeah, Gautier,
I mean,
he's very
maybe
similar to
maybe
Zach.
it's the wrong time to think of like a fluke like that with Medina because he is genuinely one of the worst fighters we've ever seen. But I'm still gonna I'm gonna stand on that. We'll we'll see.
Okay, we've been hating on Medina for a while, but dude, just go look at his record and look at his wins. Like, it's a bad, dude. His wins are really bad. And then his losses are dominations. Every time. Like I said, Gautier is very similar to Zachary Reese. I think he'll do about the same thing. All right.
Excited for
Finally,
this one. I'm excited
awesome
for this
fight.
one.
Not in the way that it'll be competitive, but Shirez, dude. He's going to show out. I know whatever, my pick, Edgar Shirez, CJ Vergara. Edgar Shirez, man, by
Me too.
first round, rolling up CJ Vergara like a blunt and smoking him. Or like a fucking bandolier, like he wore that, and I think that was on a spear or something. That shit was fired. Let's go, Shirez.
Yep, Shirez, my favorite flyweight. I'm not picking against him, especially not against CJ Vergara. uh, who's not even, I mean, there's a reason he doesn't have a ranking. He's probably out of the UFC after this fight, and I'm glad they're just feeding him to the dog that is Shirez. Um,
He's another one of those fighters where I don't have him ranked or rated because he's probably getting cut after this fight. If he doesn't, I don't fucking know, dude. What does he have to do to get cut?
yeah,
Misses weight every single fight. Like whatever. I'm done with CJ
yeah,
Vergara.
but
Random.
Shirez, I think it's one of those fights where I feel like it's just by whatever he wants. He'd TKO him, sub him, whatever. Like he could decision him. I don't think there's a place where Vergara can beat him. This is another fight where it could just happen that Vergara wins, and then I'd probably hang myself with a belt. But, um, realistically, Shirez beats him everywhere, and I'm surprised the odds are not a lot wider.
Yeah, same. It's probably just because it's flyweight. But dude, we've seen this in Shirez's career. Like people always say, blank by whatever they want. Like we've actually seen this in Shirez's career. He fought Daniel Lacerda twice and did whatever he wanted in both of those fights.
Yep.
The first fight, he got him in like a standing guillotine up against the fence. Lacerda was clearly going to go out and tap, but the referee stopped it a little early. Oh no! So they ran it back, and then he just like smokes him and triangles him in a round. Shirez is actually a guy who, if he's fighting these shitty flyweights, he does whatever he wants because he's so dynamic. He's such a good finisher. He's athletic. He's huge too. Like yeah. Shira's got it in the bag. All right. Okay, not a very high level fight, but a great fight. Should be a really fun fight. Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Kevin Borjas. As you guys can see in the thumbnail and the title, I'm not high on Ronaldo Rodriguez, and by my rating of him, I think he's really bad. I think he's a terrible fighter. His wins are really bad. You should be smoking Ode Osborne. You should be smoking Dennis Bondar, which he kind of did, but not really.
Arguably losing to Ode Osborne in 2024. Like,
yes.
This
in
is the level of fighter.
Which is key. Because, yes, Charles Johnson did the same thing. Yes, CJ Vergara did the same thing. Okay? Charles Johnson is not CJ Vergara or Ronaldo Rodriguez. He improved like a stupid amount since then. And whatever. I'm not going to I'm picking Borjas by KO in the first round. Borjas is not very good. He's he has a really shallow bag, like a really shallow bag. He's kind of just a wild athletic striker. I think that's enough to beat Ronaldo, dude. If you don't have the horrible IQ blunders that Ode had where he just went onto the ground with him and shit. Like, dude, if Ode had just fucking bang, like cracked him, stood him up, bang, cracked him again. Because, dude, Ronaldo.
Another demonstration.
Okay, I have to crouch. Ronaldo on the feet, dude, is like this, just standing there with his chin up, waiting to get hit. And it happens in every fight. It's just, is the puncher hard enough to hurt him? Yes, I think Borjas is. And I think Borjas has seen that Ode Osborne fight and has said, you know what, I'm not going to do the same thing. I'm going to knock his ass down, wait for him to get up, knock his ass down again, wait for him to get up. I think that's what's going to happen. I think he'll fucking smoke him.
I mean, I completely agree with everything you said. If I were to like bet money on this, I would probably go for Borjas because that's a nice little underdog. But I am probably going to pick Rodriguez. They're probably going to use some kind of witchcraft to get him to win because he's very clearly a star or a potential star. So I think they're going to pull some bullshit with that. But I'm thinking probably like 29-28, another close decision for Ronaldo Rodriguez.
He also lost to Osborne. I just want to say, like, whatever. Let's move on. I'm sick of hating. Not really. I could do it all day. But, yeah. Okay. Another one of these fucking fights, man. I'm excited for David Martinez's debut. It's not very interesting to predict. Simon Oliveira. How the fuck is this guy in UFC? He hasn't fought in like 2 or 3 years, dude. Get him out. He sucks. Get him out. He got smoked. I think it was Daniel Marcos or Daniel Santos. One of the two. I think it was Daniel Santos. No. Daniel Marcos. It was Marcos. Marcos fucking rolled this guy. That was like 2 or 3 years ago. Get him out of the UFC. I don't know what he's doing here. He's a massive underdog. David Martinez is actually good. Coming off the Contender Series. Guy's solid. I think he'll beat Simon Oliveira by KO, probably because Oliveira's been out for years. And his last fight, he got KO'd by Marcos, I think. Get him out of the fucking UFC. Let's go, David Martinez. Yep, he's actually a really good prospect. I'm excited. Good Mexican talent.
I agree. Simon Oliveira, 0-2 in the UFC. Why is he still here? Like you said, what is he doing in the UFC?
Look at this motherfucker, dude. Mm-hmm. This is the most unserious human being I've ever seen.
I think, hopefully, like praying to God, he gets smoked in a round.
Yeah,
like
I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he needs to just like he's not on the level. This matchup shouldn't have happened. I feel like we should have had a much more interesting matchup for this dude's debut. But I guess he's just gonna kill a can in Mexico City. So, I mean, good for Mexican fans. They're building up that base really well.
I mean, I guess that's why they keep these guys like Simon Oliveira in the UFC is because they suck, and yeah, you could get a good debut out of David Martinez.
That happens a lot with Mexican fighters. I mean, Jesus Aguilar got Shannon Ross for his debut.
No,
it wasn't his debut.
Got Tatsuro Taira for his debut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Never mind. That's a bit rough, but yeah. Just feed him.
No, but it's just yes. When they try to get these regional prospects, when they're trying to expand in a region, and that's why they keep these guys like Simon Oliveira around, who hasn't fought in years, who sucks at fighting, who's gonna get smoked, is so they can build up their names off of a UFC fighter. It's not like just bringing in a guy to lose to. You know what I mean? It's like, oh no, he's in the UFC. He's a guy in the UFC. He's been in the UFC for 3 years, and he's fought twice, and he's lost both of them. To not the best. It's not like he's fighting fucking like, Jonathan Martinez and then a Mario Bautista on the come up. Like,
Nope.
no, Daniel Marcos
Daniel
is okay,
Marcos
and I
and Tony
get it.
Gravely,
Tony
who's
Gravely.
is
Who's
he in,
who's
he's not even in the UFC.
he's not, but he's okay. He's actually okay.
Okay.
But yeah, bullshit. I'm rambling about fucking Simon Oliveira. I hate it. We'll have a whole video coming out sometime soon about the inactivity epidemic in the UFC. It's a
Mhm.
real thing. It's a real thing, right? Um, I'm so tired of it. It's the Dana White Contender Series just funneling these guys in so they can go like 0-2 or 0-3 or 1-4 and get them the fuck out, dude.
I mean, they stopped fighting. They don't want to get cut from their contract, so they just before their 3 losses, they just stop fighting and then plug up the roster. It's
Yep.
ridiculous.
Fucking
I
so
mean,
sick of it.
we'll expand on that a lot in the video, but on to
Okay.
this next one.
This is a much better fight than the odds would say. Like, I think there's fights earlier on the card with tighter odds that are way less close. I do think Rosas is going to win. I think he's pretty much a lock to win, but it'll be close. And I think Vince Morales is really, really underrated. His record is terrible.
Mhm.
His wins are not good. He has a lot of losses in the UFC. The guy's solid, though. He's hard to deal with. He's tricky. He has good grappling, solid striking. One of those types of fighters.
He
But
has
I do
some
think,
really nice subs too. I
yes,
mean, he had a
nice, really nice
Peruvian
start.
necktie and stuff. Like
Yes,
he
yes.
has it.
But yeah, I'm still going with Rosas. I think he'll probably 29-28. Like, really, like I said, a close fight. Maybe 30-27, but close. Not quite like the C-Rod fight, which he lost, but that's a bad example. Not quite like the, was it Arichalang or Alatangeli? One of those like Chinese. I think
I
it's
think it was
Arichalang.
Auricula. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds right.
Not quite like actually pretty similar to that. So yeah, just kind of a close 29-28 decision where he gets a little busted up on the feet and gets hit a couple times, but he kind of wins on the feet and then kind of wins on the ground, but loses around and close fight, good win, and he says chewies and shit. So yeah,
Yeah. Hopefully that won't be his entire career, but maybe it definitely could be. Um, I think I'm gonna pick Vince Morales actually by a front choke. I mean, I feel like that's it's pretty hard to get this dude in a choke with his chin and skull structure, but um,
dude, fuck RNC definitely.
yeah, I could
I
see
mean,
a front choke though. Like Vince Morales has a pretty nasty darce. Chiwiwis, he has a pretty he's good jujitsu, but I don't know. I just see it happening like in the second round. Maybe he starts coasting a little, and Morales just catches him out of nowhere. I mean, we've seen that happen a good amount.
yeah,
So that's I think that's what I'm picking. Maybe
fair.
not the best, but make it a little more interesting. Go for some underdogs.
Definitely. I think he's a fine underdog. It's just for Raul Rosas Jr., I don't think this is where his train stops. I think he'll keep going. But
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I
he's still
agree, and I
a good
hope
fight.
his train doesn't stop here. It would suck, but uh,
Dude, the Ricky
maybe it will.
Pacers fight. It was like this, and Ricky had him in the sub like all the way in, and he just it couldn't get under his chin. So, all right.
Kill the fatty.
He's a huge favorite for a reason. Joey from Philly is gonna smoke this fat. Look how much space on the screen he takes up, dude. Like he's so wide. I'm
Kill the
pointing at my.
fatty, dude. Kill
Look at
him.
this. Dude. Kill him. I'm so tired of Kevin Gastelum missing weight, not fighting. Oh, I'm a welterweight. Oh, I'm a middleweight. He said he's gonna be a middleweight. Okay, buddy, then you're gonna lose because you're not a middleweight. You're a
Getting
fucking welterweight.
every single money fight ever. Like he was
Yeah.
booked with Shavkat for a while for no reason. Like
Why do they do him
every
like that on these Mexico cards?
yeah,
Shavkat, it was in Vegas, but it was like Mexican Independence
yeah.
Day. And it's like, oh yeah, book him with fucking Shavkat. Book him with Pfeiffer. What are you doing? He's
Dana
gonna get
White
smoked.
just I mean, yeah, he's gonna lose, but Dana White just loves seeing this guy like fight top contenders for no reason. He never gets like any meaningful wins. And he beat Chris Curtis. That's probably his best win in the last what, like 5
And
years?
that was the headbutt.
Yes.
I know I'm probably the world's biggest Chris Curtis fan. All right. Quick preface. I don't fucking care, dude. KG won that fight off a headbutt.
I
He
agree.
got in there, he headbutted Curtis, dropped him bad. Curtis got on the ground like this, as if he like was getting TKO'd, right? And then that just shifted. Curtis was building momentum. Then that shifted the momentum back to KG. Dude. I cannot stand this dude. I want to see him out. I think Piper's probably gonna KO him in the first round. So that's yeah,
Hopefully it's just a beautiful KO. I want Kelvin Gastelum out too. I
yeah.
am sick of him. He's fat. He's gross. He's disgusting. And Joe Pyfer needs to knock him out for Philly. Back to back weekends where Philly like kills people would be fire. I need
And
to
they just
see. Yep,
too.
dude. Philly will take over MMA in 2025.
Philly on top.
Yep.
Um, yeah, and also real quick, as you can see, I have KG ranked at welterweight, number 28 welterweight. I don't fucking know what to do with this guy. He's a catchweight fighter. You know what I mean? So,
That's
um,
true.
yeah, people call him like the refrigerator because he's built wide. Dude, he ate everything in the refrigerator. He
Yep.
is not the refrigerator. He might have eaten the refrigerator. I don't know.
Possibly. I mean,
Get him out
you
of the
look
UFC.
away from this dude. The cameras get away from him. He just gets fatter every time.
Just
It's
one flea
magic.
wire on the taco truck. Like, all right, let's move on. And Piper, I got him ranked 16 at middleweight. I think he's the highest ranked non-middleweight. I have him at 84 overall, which is really good for an unranked fighter. So yeah. Okay,
Yep.
moving on. Manuel Torres versus Drew Dober. What a wonderful fight, right? Even odds. I think it's an even fight. I do think Torres should probably be a bit bigger of a favorite, but I'm fine with it. I love this fight. This is going to be such a good fight. This is going to be fireworks. They're going to just bang. Someone's getting KO'd probably in the first round or second round, but really early. And I am going to go with Manuel Torres here. I think his colliding shots are really good, and I don't think Dober deals with those well. I think when Dober swings his hooks, he's very catchable. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to swing a hook, and under that hook, Torres is going to land either one of his own hooks or a straight shot, put Dober down pretty bad, finish him off, something like that. Or he'll just kind of walk him down, or he'll get chinned, or I don't fucking know. But I'm going to go with Manuel Torres. What a fight, though, right?
Yeah. I also love this matchup. Dober, for once in his career, has been showing a bit of age in his last few fights, which has me really sad because he is like genuinely one of my favorite fighters of all time. I love Drew Dober. Um, but I think it's important to note that Manuel Torres is Mexican and Drew Dober is an evil racist. Like,
He's not black.
I know, but I still think he gets at least like a 25% amp from that.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
it's not base Drew Dober. This is like Kyle Ken times two or some shit. Like,
Okay.
he's going in there a little bit more than like Matt Frivola. So I think
Definitely more than Maverick. That's a
yeah.
ginger brother. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean I have to go with like one of my favorite fighters every time. Like I picked Bobby Green against Hoofy. Not because I thought he'd win, but because like that's my boy. I have to bet on him. So I'm gonna pick Drew Dober. Let's go just like round one, like flurry of hooks, KO. I don't know. That's just what he does. But like I'm really hoping Drew Dober can pick up like maybe one or two more KOs. I'd love him to like really establish that lightweight KO record. I love him having that. Or I think didn't Poirier take that back recently?
I don't think so. Because
No?
Poirier, he took it back after the BSD fight, but then Dober. When did Dober KO Ricky Glenn?
I don't know. Anyway, like I want Dober to really like establish that. That'd be super cool for like, Dober who's had so many fights to really like, have a record in the UFC like that. Like Matt kind of like Matt Brown, like we're a veteran who isn't Matt Brown actually did get ranked. He got up really
Oh
high
yeah.
in that division. So it's not
Uh,
really
uh,
similar. But Dober has had such a long career, done so much for the UFC. I mean, I watched the season on Ultimate Fighter where he lost to Darren Cruikshank and shit. Like he's developed so much as a fighter. Um,
and Darren
yeah,
Cruikshank get like an absolutely filthy flying knee KO, or he got KO'd
yeah. He
by
got
James Vick.
brutally KO'd by James Vick with
Yeah.
a knee. Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
I want to see Dober get a few more KOs, and I think that's. I mean, whoever loses this is getting KO'd. This isn't going to decision. So,
Yeah.
Drew
Or
Dober.
Manuel Torres is so aggressive on the ground. If they somehow end up that way, maybe he gets dropped, maybe he drops Dober and doesn't actually like finish him. I could see Torres getting a sub here. I would actually like to just kind of shoe that in. I could definitely see Torres getting a sub here, but I'm gonna go with him by KO. Will's going Dober by KO. We're
Yep.
getting a KO. It's gonna be an awesome fight. Let's
Yep.
go. Um, Main event time. Another awesome fight, right? Really close. I think Moreno should definitely be a
Man,
favorite.
these
Maybe
ratings
even a
are
little bit.
crazy.
And yeah, these are, I
So
mean, the
high.
ratings jump with this card, man. We got all these guys in like at best, the low 80s, right? I think Joe Piper is the highest ranked at 84. Then we got a 96 and a 93. Number 2 versus number 8. What a fight, dude. I think Moreno's one of the best fighters in the UFC, but I'm going with Erceg. I think it's going to be so close, right? But I think Erceg will do enough to win rounds 1 through 3 before. But like, or maybe, I don't know. Erceg has really good cardio. I don't think he's going to gas. I don't think Moreno's really going to gas. I think they'll slow down, but it's so hard. Well, you go first, because I really don't know how to predict.
Yeah. Personally, I'm picking Moreno. I mean, Moreno is so battle tested, maybe a bit too much, but he showed he still has it, like, absolutely against what's his face? I don't know. I'm forgetting.
Miralbazi.
Yeah, Amir Albazi. Um, and of course, Erceg is way better than Amir Albazi, no doubt. But with the amount of wars this guy's put on, I think he can still come out on top. I think Erceg definitely doesn't have the power to draw some respect out of Moreno, and I think that's going to be a decent factor in this fight. I think Moreno's just going to be able to keep advancing and overwhelming him because Erceg doesn't hit the hardest. I mean, he only has like 2 career knockouts.
And
One
one of them is
against
Matt Schnell,
yeah,
which is
one
free.
against Matt Schnell, which doesn't count because I mean, like
And he had the
everyone's
sub
KO.
Finn Ross in like the second round, I would
Yeah,
like to say.
that's pretty bad. But his chin, it's fine. But I think also Moreno could KO him. I think it might just be a battle or a fight like judged on durability and power. Because it's at this level where both of them are just so good. I think technically Erceg as a striker is better, but Moreno. I mean, maybe it's going a bit far, but like Erceg's pretty filthy, man. And but I think Moreno's probably gonna overwhelm him and TKO him.
Yeah. Wow. I definitely disagree. I think this fight is. I think Moreno's definitely a better striker. He's more well rounded.
Really?
He's
Okay.
smaller. Erceg has more range. I do think Erceg hits harder than Moreno. I think Moreno has a better chin than Erceg. I think those things are kind of going to cancel out. Where Erceg does not hit that hard. Don't look at, like, I wish people would not look at the Matt Schnell KO and him hurting Alessandro Costa. Dude, Matt Schnell has one of the worst chins, if not the worst chin of all time. Alessandro Costa has a pretty bad chin, right? He kind of dropped David Dobrik. What the hell is that guy's name?
David Dvorak, yeah.
Dvorak. David Dobrik. That's a, yeah, okay. He dropped David Dvorak with a head kick, kinda. He doesn't hit hard. He hits harder than Moreno, I think. And I think he's a worse chin than Moreno. I think those are going to cancel out. I think it's going to be pretty even in terms of like whose shots are affecting who. I don't think Moreno. He doesn't train at elevation. Neither does Erceg. I don't think that's going to be a factor. I think they're both going to slow down.
Yeah. Well, I doubt cardio will be too much because they'll match their each other's cardio pretty well. But I
Erceg
do have to take that back. That Moreno's power is, I forgot it's not all that. He only has really 4 real career like KO TKOs. He got an injury, which is counted against Brandon Royval, so it's really 4, even though his record says 5. And one of them was to the body, so actual like concussive power, not what I thought it was. So I was mistaken on that. So maybe it'll be a bit closer than I thought. I still have to pick Moreno though.
also just so not talked about. And I even have him rated a little low. If you go look at the spreadsheet and go to Steve Erceg in the flyweight rankings, I have his grappling, I believe, at a 93. I was striking at a 95. That could be reversed, dude. He's a great striker. Dude, Erceg is a dumb good grappler. We saw that in a Pantoja fight. We've also seen that. Like, dude, he's a stupidly good grappler. I think he's going to out-grapple Moreno as well. That's why
Really?
I'm picking Steve Erceg. I think they're going to be pretty close on the feet. I think he'll outstrike him at range. I don't think he'll out-jab him, but I think he'll out-kick him. I think he'll out-hook him. And I think he'll out-grapple him
Yeah.
as the fight, kind of as the fight goes on. So I'm going Steve Erceg, 48-47, stupidly close, probably really annoyingly close to score.
Yeah.
Maybe even a little closer than the Brandon Royval fight, and I don't think the judges have some crazy bias towards Moreno in Mexico, because if they did, they would have given that fight. Well, no, actually, because that fight was clear Brandon Royval, and they gave a scorecard 49-46 to Moreno. Oh, fuck. This is our fight to predict. I'm still going Erceg, man. I don't care.
Yeah,
I think he's going to win. Mixing the
I think it's
grappling,
a good
outstriking
pick.
my
This
range.
is
Yeah.
a really good one. I think Moreno, he yeah, Moreno this is one of those matchups where MMA math does not work at all. I mean, it never does. But like using Kai Kara France, Moreno finished Kai Kara France. Kai Kara France just like KO'd Erceg. Like that fight doesn't matter at all. I've been thinking about that. It has nothing to do with this matchup because they're just completely different fighters. And I think maybe going forward in Erceg's career, maybe the only guys who will have success against him are those like insanely hard hitters like Kai Kara France. Because he is just a really, really good all around fighter. But
Mm.
we'll see. This is gonna be a good one.
All right. Great main event. Great card. Let's wrap it up real quick. Let's go through every single fight. Um, I will stop the stream and then you could just like cut to the outro.
So
Okay.
we're not going over every single fight?
No, we are, but we don't need
Okay.
the screen. Okay. Three, two, one. All right, and that's gonna do it. Let's just go through all the fights real quick. Mark Maderos is gonna, or should we go through all the picks, or should we just?
Well, just say like, I don't know. Yeah, sure.
I forget what we're picking.
No. Well,
What you were
just
picking.
say the fights. I don't know.
Okay, or I'll say my pick, then you say your pick, and then we'll just do
Oh
it
yeah,
really quick.
yeah, sure.
All right, all right. Just gonna go through all the fights real quick, through our picks quickly. Austin Hubbard versus Marco Maderos. I'm picking Marco Maderos.
I am also picking Markel Medeiros.
Jamal Emmers versus Gabriel Miranda. I'm picking Jamal Emmers.
I am as well.
Rafa Garcia versus Vince Pichel. I'm picking Garcia.
Same.
Lupi Godinez versus Julia Palastri. I'm picking Lupi Godinez.
I don't need to say it again.
Melkazai Alcosta versus Christian Rodriguez. I'm picking Christian Rodriguez.
Well, you switched your pick, but
Yes, I
yeah,
did.
I
Would
picked Rodriguez originally. He switched his to Rodriguez as well, but originally it was split. So
all right. Ateba Gautier versus Jose Medina. We're both picking Gautier.
no, I'm
Edgar
picking
Chairez.
Medina.
Oh, you are picking Medina.
Yes, I'm
The first
picking
one.
Jose Medina.
Okay, he's picking Medina. I'm picking Gautier. Edgar Chairez versus CJ Vergara. We're both picking Chairez. Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Kevin Borjas. I'm picking Borjas.
I am picking Rodriguez.
Okay, David Martinez versus Simon Oliveira. We're both picking David Martinez. Raul Rosas Jr. versus Vince Morales. I'm picking Raul Rosas.
I'm picking Vince Morales.
KG versus Joe Pyfer. We're both picking Joey, dude, from
Yep,
Philly. Manuel Torres, Drew Dober. I'm picking Manuel Torres.
picking Drew Dober.
Main event. I'm picking Steve Erceg.
And I'm picking Brandon Moreno.
Let's go. Great card. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, have a good one.